Hi. Well, here I am in my dining room in Seabrook, 28 miles from the church. And I'm making this video to hopefully be the first of several, to keep in touch, to say hello, and to give you some encouragement and some thought about God's role in our life right now. I hope you're doing very well. I hope you're happy, safe, and I'm pretty sure you're busy, especially if you're a student. You're going to see me put on my glasses down because I want to make sure I read every word I have for you. This is definitely a strange time for all of us. I'm online teaching now. I've never taught online. You're online learning, and I doubt that's something you knew how to do. Some of you are at home. You don't go to school yet, but you're at home and you're learning. And so life is different. I'd certainly do a lot of things differently from how I did them a few weeks ago. You may be confused and you may be tired and you might even be a little bit afraid. But you know what? We all are. Things we don't know, we call the unknown. And when they're unknown, we have lots of questions. Maybe we have fears. Maybe we're excited about it. And so sometimes you have to go to somebody and get answers. We do. That's why we read the paper and watch the news and watch TV and listen to the radio to get news and try to listen to the experts and make the right decisions on our health and our lives. And so a lot of times you have to figure out who those people are to talk to. You have parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, family, friends, pastor, me. Anybody that you feel comfortable with, we will be willing to listen. Every day the news is good and bad. But one of the things I've noticed, and I actually thought about this before I ever thought to make the video, was the helpers. The people who are putting everything of their life into helping us. The grocery stores, doctors, nurses, ambulance attendants, firefighters, teachers. I don't think anybody really understands if you've never taught online when suddenly you're a student learning to teach online. Students, you're having to work extra hard. Your family's working hard. Everywhere you go, there are helpers. And if you don't get out much, you still see helpers. I don't know if you know who Fred Rogers was, Mr. Rogers. He's what we call a children's TV icon. He came on and we all parents watched with their kids because you learned from Fred Rogers. He taught us a lot. But one of the things he taught us was something that his mom had taught him. And that was when a time comes when we call it a tragedy, something terrible, like a school shooting, like the coronavirus, and it's the unknown. She told him this: find the helpers. That's who you need. Find the helpers. Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping. And she was right. And that became something that Mr. Rogers said everywhere and wrote in books and said on his show. And many of us today, if we hear the word helper, we think of Fred Rogers. He was right. His show, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, was all about people being different and yet the same. We all want to feel safe, and we all need help. You may remember, and this is one of my favorite stories, and I really think it's one reason I became a teacher, is when Jesus was speaking to the people and the disciples. Remember, they were his helpers, his students, tried to stop the children from going to Jesus. And when he saw them, he said, "No, let the little children come to me." We are God's little children, whether you're 3 days old, 100, my age, your age. We need to go to Jesus. We can always go to Jesus. That's what I think is the greatest thing, is 24 hours a day, I can turn to Jesus. He listens. You have a lot of us that love you and a lot of you that will help you. If you need me, email me. I will try to speak to you each week. I love you all. I miss you. Remember to go to Jesus. He's the number one helper.